What's up, everybody? It's Tamika here. And we are bringing you guys another word for February 6, 2026. We were gone for about a week, and now we're back. We're happy to be here and to give you guys the word that the Lord would like for us to share with you. So, on that note, we will begin. We will try to make this one expedient as possible, so it doesn't be too long, but we're just going to let the Holy Spirit flow on today.
We will be reading from 2 Samuel chapter 6, 1 through 7.
Yeah, okay, and she's reading from the New King James Version. So, you ready?
Yes.
All right, so she's going to begin.
Again, David gathered together all the chosen men of Israel, 30,000. And David arose and went with all the people that were with him from Baal of Judah to bring up from thence the ark of God, whose name is called by the name of the Lord of hosts that dwelleth between the cherubims. And they set the ark of God upon a new cart and brought it out of the house of Abinadab that was in Gibeah, and Uzzah and Ahio, the sons of Abinadab, drave the new cart, and they brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was at Gibeah, accompanying the ark of God. And Ahio went before the ark, and David and all the house of Israel played before the Lord on all manner of instruments made of fir wood, even on harps, and on psalteries, and on timbrels, and on cornets, and on cymbals. And when they came to Nachon's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of God, and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and God smote him there for his error. And there he died by the ark of God.
Yes. So, here David is bringing up the ark of God. Uzzah and Ahio. Uzzah and Ahio. So, they were bringing it from the house of Abinadab. And they were about to party. They had, instruments and getting the music ready. And it says when they came to Nation's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of God and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it. So they had the ark sitting on the cart, and the oxen, shook it where it was about to tip over. So out of his first reaction was to reach out and grab the Ark of the Covenant so it didn't fall. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and God smote him there for his error, and there he died by the ark of God. Verse 8 also says, and David was displeased because the Lord had made a breach upon Uzzah, which means he broke out. His holiness broke out on Uzzah for touching the ark of God. And he called the name of the place Perez Uzzah to this day. And David was afraid of the Lord that day and said, How shall the ark of the Lord come to me? So we do know that the Ark of the Covenant carried the God's holy presence. It has Aaron's rod that had budded, had the 10 Commandments in there as well. It held God's presence among the Israelites. It was the sacred throne of God's presence and was not to be handled casually, but approached in reverence and obedience. So 3 things that they did wrong was they moved God's presence in an ignoble way. So they set the ark of God on a cart, for one. And in Exodus 25:14 and Numbers 4:5 and 8, I got my notes right here, right? So God has said the ark was to be carried on the shoulders of the Levites with poles by the sons of Kohath. So that was number 1. 2, they replaced obedience with good intentions. So, David was excited just to have God's presence back with him. So, they about to celebrate. They like, let's go get the Ark of the Covenant, bring it here with me. So they replaced obedience with good intentions. The second error was human hands was never allowed to touch the Ark of the Covenant. Numbers 4:15. You go back and read it, when you get a chance. So even though Uzzah, even though his reaction was of goodwill, he still acted out of disobedience. So, God's way is orderly. So he said everything has to be done in decency and in order. So helping in a way that God didn't ask for is still disobedience. And 3, they lost reverence through familiarity, because in 1 Samuel 7:1, the ark had stayed with Uzzah's family for some years. Being around holy things made them casual instead of being careful. So, people can be saved for so long and grew up in the church and, become accustomed to church or the people of God, and they become kind of complacent, and kind of lose reverence and awe for the things of God. You're not as careful about the things of God and the holy things of God, because God is holy and we are to be holy too. So doing God's work is serious business. Like, even though this was the Ark of the Covenant and the presence of God was with the Ark of the Covenant, now we have the Holy Spirit, which is still God's Spirit dwelling within us. And we are not to take the Holy Spirit lightly, but it's serious business. So David didn't stop to ask, how did God say do this? So he just, come on, let's get the ark, let's take it up here, we about to celebrate, and put the ark on the cart and just handle the Ark of the Covenant. It was holy, which cost Uzzah his life, because when he reached out and touched it, he died. So that's exactly how we are to be when it comes to the things of God, to his Holy Spirit, to the work of the Lord. Like, it's not to be taken lightly. Like, it's serious. It's our salvation. So he didn't stop and ask. Also, they did this without reverence. So just not to get too comfortable with God or the things of God. And they also did it with haste. The easiest, fastest, and most practical. So when they just put it on the cart, like, come on, let's just get it up here, was the wrong way to do it, because God's order was the sons of Korath, which were the Levites, were to carry it on their shoulders with a pole. So no hands, no human, none of that. So that was wrong as well. They tried to do it the easiest and the fastest and most practical way, but God never authorized that. Proverbs 14:12 says, there is a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So it's a way that could seem right. We've been saved for so long, and we don't want the things of God to become routine and we get comfortable. Like, we are still to honor God in everything that we do. We are still to stop, pray, ask God, Lord, how do you want this done? Because this is his work. This is his word. The church, all of this belongs to him. So He just using us to get the work done in the earth. So it's not ours. Everything belongs to God. The people belong to God. His sheep, those are his sheep. The people, us who have to carry the word or the burden of doing the work of the Lord, we will be held more accountable, So we want to do things the right way. We want to do it God's way. And we also want to be led by the Holy Spirit and not by our flesh, and not feeling like, okay, this way might seem right or this way seems right, but God didn't authorize it to be done in that type of way. So no shortcuts. So we're not taking no shortcuts. We're going to do it exactly how the Holy Spirit wants us to do it. So pray before you do anything and everything. His instructions give life. So we want to follow God's instructions, the Holy Spirit instructions on how to do the things of God. How to even come to God in reverence and holiness and awe of God and fear, like a holy fear of God. We want to be careful with how we treat the things of God and the people of God and the Holy Spirit, because we are not to quench the Holy Spirit or grieve the Holy Spirit, which is God's presence. So we don't want to do anything out of haste or just disorderly. We want everything to be done God's way in decency and in order. Not doing things our own way, being careless. But being careless could lead us to dishonor God. We do not want to dishonor God. We want to come to him in, the right posture and giving God all the glory and the honor and the praise. So I hope that blessed somebody today. Pray about everything. Ask God, how do he want things done? What does he want done through you? And just follow his instructions, because the instructions give life. When we disobey, it's consequences to being disobedient to the Spirit of God and the things of God. So let's not be careless. Let's not get too comfortable. Stay honoring God, being careful of the things of God. And that's our message for today. And we will see you guys on the next video. Love you.